So Thor Love and Thunder is getting ready to be released in theaters actually really soon, and I for one am looking forward to it. But today I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about a possibility of a Marvel or even a superhero fatigue going on. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Robert Storms. If you guys are finding me for the very first time, please do me a favor, smash that like and subscribe button. Let's have a conversation going. Let's talk in the comment box below. Let's have a discussion if superhero fatigue is a realistic thing. Before we get into the conversation, I want you guys to jump over to my gaming channel. We hit over 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and I have my Capcom Fighting Collection review up on the channel right now. If you want to know what my thoughts on this game actually is, be sure to go over there, check out that. I will have the link in the description as well as a pinned comment. So let's talk about the superhero genre and the MCU in general. Now, I am really excited for this movie because I like Thor Ragnarok. Now, I know a lot of people over the past couple years are like, oh, Thor Ragnarok sucked, which I don't understand that because it's the highest grossing and the best reviewed Thor movie out of the series. I remember when it came out, everybody loved that movie, and now it seems like, oh, it's the cool thing to do to bitch and complain and say it sucks. Now, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You have the right to like and dislike whatever you want to like. It's sort of like the cool thing now to say Avatar sucks. Oh, Avatar sucks. For the record, I said Avatar sucks from the beginning, and I don't think Avatar sucks. I just don't think it's very original, although I am going to see part 2 and see what they do. Hopefully more original story. But I think with Thor Ragnarok, a lot of people go back and they kind of like bash it, although at the time everybody really seemed to enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to Thor Love and Thunder. But this one thing I have been noticing with myself personally, is the lack of interest in these type of movies anymore. And it's not because I don't like these movies, because I do. I really do. Like, I've been going with my girlfriend every weekend. We pick like a section of movies and we like binge through them. And right now we're reliving the X-Men movies because she only seen the original. So we started with First Class, then we watched Days of Future Past, which by the way is, I don't care what anybody says, that is in the top 5 best comic book films of all time. Days of Future Past is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. We just finished Apocalypse, and next is Dark Phoenix. And I've been doing the same thing with the DC universe with her. We finished the Snyder Cut last week, and we did Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Snyder Cut, Man of Steel, BVS, next is going to be Shazam, and so on. So I still look forward to those movies, but I don't look forward to it as much as I do back then, and I think it's because we're being overwhelmed with so much content. Every time I turn around, I feel like I'm being hit with a new property, and some of the stuff that they're greenlighting, I'm just not getting excited for, me personally. Like, I like Blue Beetle in the comic books. Will I watch it when it comes out? Sure, I'll give it a shot. Hopefully it's good. Batgirl, The Flash. It's like, I feel like you ever see those old Popeye commercials when Popeye eats the spinach and he's fighting Pluto and he's like punching, he's like pop, pop, pop. And that's how I feel. I'm like poof, 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 poof. Like every time I turn around, there's something new here. I wasn't really into Moon Knight, me personally. I liked all the Disney Plus shows for the most part. Some were definitely better than others. Moon Knight was the first one I gave up on halfway through. I watched the first one. I said, oh, that's interesting. Second one, kind of lost my attention a little bit. Third one, I was out. I checked out. The fourth one, I tried maybe like a handful of times to get into it, and I ended up stopping. I'm like, I can't do this. This is not for me. And I don't think these properties are meant for everyone, right? I think the best thing about the Disney Plus show is that there's variety. So if you don't like Miss Marvel, then that's fine. It's not for you. I didn't care for Moon Knight. It wasn't for me. Everybody has their own properties, right? Like Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision. I really enjoyed Hawkeye, and I know a lot of people didn't. I'm liking Miss Marvel, but again, today, the new episode came out. I have like zero interest to go see it. Like, not because I didn't like Miss Marvel. I've enjoyed the 3 episodes that I've seen of Miss Marvel. It's just like I don't have that urge to get up and go, holy shit, I gotta go check out the new episode of Miss Marvel. Like before I was like all hyped for all these different things, and now I feel like we're just getting, I don't want to say oversaturated. I think oversaturated with mediocre. I think everything has been very mediocre. Whereas previously, I didn't feel the fatigue because we were getting really good stuff. We were in the height of phase 3, going up to Infinity War and Endgame, and like all these movies were coming out and they all had this great connective tissue. And like we were so excited to see the next thing. And now I feel like we're kind of getting oversaturated because they're all mediocre. Now, if these were all fantastic things, you know, I would be like, oh, yeah, man, we're not being oversaturated. I don't have hero fatigue. You're fucking nuts. But whatever. But like I said, it's been very mediocre. Very mediocre. Like Moon Knight, mediocre. Miss Marvel, mediocre. Hawkeye, although I liked it, very mediocre. And that can be said with a lot of Disney Plus stuff. Like Obi-Wan, I enjoyed it, but it was mediocre. You know, like Boba Fett, mediocre. Like these are all mediocre to average type things, you know? And it's just like, yeah, it's good, but when you look at stuff like The Boys and what The Boys is doing, The Boys is like, holy shit, I can't believe they did that. Can't wait till next week. Stranger Things, season 4 is like, holy shit, I can't wait to July 1st so I can check out the new episodes of Stranger Things. These are all like must-see things. You look at something like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, regardless how you feel about that last season, Game of Thrones was like, holy shit, I have to watch next week's episode. Whereas I watched Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and I'm like, you know, I never have to watch another episode if I don't want to. You know, it's all right. It feels like time filler. Like I'm just passing the time. Now, Obi-Wan, I felt like, oh, I got to see next week's episode. But it never left me to where I'm like, holy shit, I got to see what happens next. Obi-Wan was like, all right, cool. Can't wait till next week. And then I watched it next week. But other than WandaVision, I think WandaVision was the only series that was like, shit, I got to see what happens next week. And that is a big problem. You know, we have so many damn movies coming out. We got Black Adam, The Flash eventually, if they ever figure out this Ezra Miller shit. Shazam 2. We have Sony doing Sony being Sony at this point. Sony doing like a Kraven the Hunter where Kraven's actually like a friendly animal lover and stuff like that. They're doing a fucking Madam Web movie, Aunt May movie, Uncle Ben cooking rice movie. Like, so I just feel like, what are we doing? I feel like everybody's just like in a studio and they're like, man, superheroes sell, so we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And to even prove my point, look at Top Gun Maverick, a non-superhero movie making $1 billion at the box office, surpassing Doctor Strange, a movie that I love. It's because it's a palate cleanser, man. We are getting so oversaturated with just mediocre superhero films that it's just like, man, I want something different. I want to experience something new in my life. You know, it's just, you want to try something new, and that's the thing. Not to say that these things are all bad, because they're not. Even when I gave up on Moon Knight, I don't think Moon Knight was bad. It didn't hold my interest, and I want something that's gonna make me go, shit, I gotta watch next week's episode. And WandaVision was the only one that made me do that. And you could say it's because, you know, Bob Chapek's in charge now, not Bob Iger. Apparently, the rumor is Bob Chapek came in, took a lot of the creative power away from Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy, which, for the record, the less power Kathleen Kennedy has, the better. But taking stuff, like, they're taking creative power away from these producers like Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy, and you're really kind of handcuffing them. And Kevin Feige is the one person that you need to give more power to, because he already established that he can make money, he can make good stuff, and you're gonna sit there and handicap him like, we're gonna do 6 episodes, 30 minutes long. It's like, really? Like, the next 2 episodes of Stranger Things like an hour and like 2 hours long. It's like an hour and a half, and the second episode's like 2.5 hours long. These are episodes. And another thing, I just don't feel like Disney gets the concept of television yet. And I think that's also what's kind of slowing me down and kind of making me feel this way. Whereas you look, I always go back, look at like some of the best shows, right? Breaking Bad, Son of Anarchy, Game of Thrones, Better Call Saul. You like, what do those Stranger Things, what do those series have in common? They have great writing, great development, right? Yes, they're an hour long, but the length isn't necessarily the most important thing. Yes, I would like to have a 50 to an hour minute episode, but it goes to great storytelling. These characters are fleshed out, great development of the character arcs, the overarching arcs. You look at Walter White from the first episode of Breaking Bad, look what happens at the end of Breaking Bad, look at Game of Thrones, look with Dany and Jon Snow and all these characters. They have great arcs and great development. The writing comes first. They really take their time on the writing, and everything else kind of happens secondly. Where the Marvel movies, I feel like they're on this like factory belt, and they're just whipping these things out faster than they actually have time to cook. And I'm just like, what's going on? And I fully am aware that a year or two ago, I was like, man, where's all this stuff at? Like they launched the service and there's nothing here. Like where's all this stuff? They launched this service and we have nothing. But now we're getting to the point where they're just whipping these damn things out. Like if you ever watch I Love Lucy with the chocolate, and Lucy is trying to catch all the chocolate, but it just keeps going that fast. That's what they're doing with these properties. And not just Disney and Marvel, but DC and Sony too. They're like, hey, let's make this money. Boom, 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 boom. And they're just like, nothing has time to cook and develop. The Obi-Wan show, although I enjoyed it, there was a lot of bad writing in that show, a lot of bad choices. Characters were extremely underdeveloped. There was plots that didn't make sense. Look at, I don't know, Hawkeye. Hawkeye I thought was really good, but then you look at some of the choices they made with Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, Echo. They and here's my perfect point. I went into a perfect point here. Echo, right? She was introduced in the Hawkeye show, right? Echo was not a very interesting character at all. They tried to make her out to be because they wanted to push it on us, right? They're like, hey guys, guess what? We casted a handicapped actor with one leg who's actually deaf to play a character who is deaf and has one leg. Look at us, guys. Woo! Pat ourselves on the back. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's what they did. It's all about checklist shit now, right? The writing, the most important part than anything. If your script sucks and your writing sucks, your whole show or movie's gonna suck. Disney right now is so hell-bent on trying to be so socially correct so they can pat themselves on the back saying they did something good, that the most important part is second. It's like, hey guys, hey, let's pat ourselves on the back. Woohoo, yeah, woo, yeah, woo. It's like, who cares if you casted a deaf lady who is handicapped to play a deaf lady who is handicapped? I mean, I'm glad she got a job, but last time I checked, I could be wrong. Hey, it's called acting. You hire an actor to act the part. So you didn't have to go get someone who's actually deaf to play a deaf character. You don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Last time I checked, when you're acting, you act. I'm pretty sure, like, actors, I'm pretty sure Christian Bale isn't really Batman in real life. I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck isn't Batman, or Henry Cavill isn't really Superman. I'm pretty sure a tree doesn't exist, either does a talking raccoon. Like, I don't see you going to cast a raccoon and be like, all right, we got a raccoon. And we got to find a talking raccoon. It's called acting. And I feel like Disney, especially with Disney Plus, there's so many mandates. Like, we have to be politically and socially correct here, guys. Oh, here we go. Ready? We casted a deaf girl who's handicapped to play a deaf girl who's handicapped. And in turn, the Echo character was bullshit. The Echo character was extremely underdeveloped and not interesting. And not only that, to go to my next point, they're doing a show on her. It's like, I just told you we have tons of mediocre Disney Plus shows, superhero movies, superhero shows in general, and then you're going to give us a show, a series, on a character who was mediocre in the first place. The best thing about that Hawkeye series was Haley Steinfeld and Hawkeye and Florence Pugh. You bring Kingpin in, you completely neuter him and make him a cartoon character where he can survive car crashes. Like, a car can run into this. I haven't seen shit like that since Whiplash and Iron Man 2. And then you have this character named Echo that you casted this person so you pat yourself on the back. Anybody, you could have cast 1 million people to play that character better, and they're not handicapped or deaf, but you wanted to get that publicity. You wanted to pat yourself on your back and say, hey guys, we did this for this. We did this for this. It was the same thing with Scarlett Johansson when she was doing that tub and tuck or nip tuck or tug and pull or whatever the fuck that, where she was going to play a transgender detective. She was going to produce it and everything, and people lost their mind. They're like, you need a transgender to play this role. Why? It's called fucking acting, people. Unless you're going out of the way to like whitewash shit or have a white person play a ethnic character where they have to paint their skin and stuff, like, no, like, you're acting. Who cares if she's not a real transgender? One, she's making a movie. She's producing it. She's an actor paid to act. I don't give a fuck if Scarlett Johansson is acting like a goddamn rock on the street. If that's the role and they think she's the best person for the role, she should play that role. But now everybody, the Twitter mob, is like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And that's why we get shit like Echo. An underdeveloped character. But hey, we casted the correct person to play the job. Fuck acting. Acting schools and acting skills mean nothing. It's all about underdevelopment plot, oversaturation, and them trying to be socially correct. It's a big problem right now, and I'm really feeling it. Disney Plus just came, like Miss Marvel came out earlier today, and I had like zero, like I went to go turn it on, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna go review Marvel or the Capcom Fighting Collection. I'm gonna go review Capcom Fighting Collection instead of watching the next episode of Miss Marvel. And again, I like Miss Marvel. I think they're doing a really good job with that series when it comes to the Pakistani heritage and stuff. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I had a friend I lived next to that I used to hang out and play basketball with every day. I mentioned it before in my review. My buddy Leon, he was Pakistan. His mom was very strict, so they're keeping very true to all that. And there's just something about it. It doesn't feel like must-see TV. Right now, the only thing I'm looking forward to is like the next Game of Thrones. Like when is, House of Dragon or Dragonfire or House on Fire or whatever the fuck. When's that coming out, man? It's just like, if Disney wants to play in the space, right, they need to know and learn what makes these series good. Stranger Things, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Sopranos, Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure there's more I'm missing off my list. What makes these series good and must-watch TV is fantastic writing, fantastic character development. Disney right now wants to spend so much time just patting themselves on the back and going over these checklists that their series and their movies are mediocre. I like Shang-Chi. I like Eternals. But let's be honest, guys. Those feel like checklist movies. Hey, we got to do a Shang-Chi movie because we want to get into China, which China didn't even allow that movie to go in. So the purpose of them making that movie didn't even happen. It's a whole thing. Right now, Phase 4 is on shaky grounds because we don't have a clear roadmap. It's being oversaturated with mediocre, I'm not saying bad, I said mediocre properties, and it's not feeling good. She-Hulk, I like She-Hulk, but let's be honest, guys, we saw that trailer. It's very cringy. The CGI is god-awful in spots, and will it be, fun to watch? Sure, but it looks like another 30-minute 6-episode mediocre Disney Plus series, guys. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this very, 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 very long video. I appreciate it. And again, I want to get the discussion going on. Leave those comments in the comment box below. Tell me what you guys think, and let's have a fair discussion going on. Once again, if you guys can jump over to my gaming channel, I did release my Capcom Fighting Collection review over there. I will have the link in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.